The growing calls across the nation to defund the police.
To end policing as we know it.
Off the charts violence in New York City. 11 people shot in just 8 hours on
This is
Sunday.
about the police officers who every single day put on that uniform and they run towards danger when we run away from it.
Whoa, guns up!
Giddy up, y'all.
Welcome to Failure to Stop Night Shift, where we bring you all the murder and mayhem, the missing, the disappearing. Brought to you by the beautiful, the elegant, Andre Uplate, and myself, Eric Tanzi. We've got a hell of a show for you guys tonight. Tonight's show is brought to you by GhostBed.com and the United States Concealed Carry Association. I think I got that wrong last week. A couple of you guys sent me messages. I'm not going to go back and listen. Not going to go back and see if I did it wrong, because I'm never wrong. And I'll never admit fully that I was wrong. But let's just agree that I got it right tonight. Does that sound good? Can we just agree?
Think you got it right.
Think you got it right tonight. So we do appreciate our sponsors. We are the Failure to Stop Podcast Network. We bring you 4 shows a week. We got off the cuff all the police news with He Big Daddy and Mike the Cop. On Tuesdays, we have Night Shift, which is what you're listening to right now, which is true crime. Thursdays, we have Last Call, which is everything to get you through the weekend that you don't have to think about the job itself. Give you something else to talk about with your civilian friends other than dead babies and domestic violence. We do a lot of making fun of state troopers, a lot of making fun of firefighters, a lot of fun making fun of the Coast Guard as well. So there's a lot of toxic blue line masculinity on that show, and I think you guys will really like it. Fridays, our case breakdown with Mike the Cop and myself, and Drew Breezy popping in as well from time to time. If you're not following us on YouTube, if you're not subscribed to us on YouTube, you're wrong, because Drew Breezy has joined the Failure to Stop team. He's bringing lots of content, breaking down stuff, Big Bird to Cookie Monster style. I'm doing 1 video or so a week, some shorts on some case updates and some, just officer involved shootings, or just things that generally the civilians might have questions about. And I try to break it down as objectively as I can. But tonight, it's all about murder. It's all about mayhem. It's all about missing, discussing things. We might tell some off-color jokes. Is it off-colored? Is that the right off-color joke?
Are your jokes off-colored, or is that the term for
is the term off-color?
It is.
Racist?
It is both.
How do they get the term off-color joke?
What's an on-color joke?
I don't know.
I don't know. You're going to tell them, though.
The point is that you have to have thick skin if you're going to listen to this show, and don't send me in your bullshit whiny baby messages about, oh, you shouldn't have left. Da, 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 da. I mean, this show is 99% for first responders, and we have a very, very dark sense of humor. We honor the victims. We're 100% pro-victim on this show. We're anti the killer on the show.
Difficult to look at pictures just said on color is worse than off.
Well, we do have a live show tonight, so there's a lot of people in the live chats dinging in as always. We got Lasro Lopez, Jay Galtz Grapes, L Wall, Ruben Snyder, Dave Osborne, and that's just what I can see right here, right now. Lots of people in the live chat, so thank you guys so much. There was actually a super chat before we even started the show. Somebody sent us a super chat. I'd have to go way back in the chat. You guys, there was like over 100 chats before we even fucking got going tonight. Del Teslov Act Mand Carry. I don't know what any of that means.
It's a lot.
In case I lose signal, hashtag keep fighting. Get home bag. Hashtag Niner 17 /Iran, blah, blah,
Blah,
blah.
blah.
There are 4 lights and a round on me.
That sounds very intense.
It sounds like the whiskey's talking.
And thank you for the $12, though.
But thank you for the $12. Does $12 buy you around these days? Be around for me. It wouldn't be around for both of us.
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure the round.
Yeah, I think a round these days is like $12 a person. So you're gonna have to cough up another 12.
Depends on what you get.
If you're gonna keep it classy, like Andrea,
Keep it classy.
it's probably gonna be like a $4 well shot. But
there it is.
What's your shot of choice?
Shelf.
If somebody buys you a round, what do you tell them you want?
First of all, I don't like people to buy me drinks.
Really?
I don't like that.
You didn't say
I mean,
that
I'm
fucking like
appreciative.
2 weeks ago when I dropped over 100 bones at that fucking whiskey bar with you and Jason. Damn, that one hurt.
That was.
Y'all ordered some expensive fucking drinks.
I don't. That was the that dude, your buddy, that bartender back there was like, "What would you like?" And I said tequila soda, and he was like, "I'll do better than that." I don't know. Like I was trying to keep it simple.
Well, it got complex real quick. And when I saw that bill, I went, son of a bitch.
He sent me something. Then he said, "What else do I like?" And I said, "Bourbon." So he sent like a smoky, steaming bourbon something. So it was worth every penny.
I mean, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed buying those drinks for you. But it wasn't me buying you a drink, it was just some rando at the bar. It says, "Let me get you a drink there, little lady. What do you tell me you want? Shot of Jack?"
It's seasonal, right?
Tennessee.
So like, yeah, I like Jack, but like if it's summertime up until like October, like we're getting there. Like I'm transitioning out of tequila, right, into bourbon. It's about to be bourbon season.
Bourbon season. I got you.
You don't need ice for it, just warm.
There you go. Cody Jordan coming in hard with 20 bones. Thanks you so much. All right, man. Well, that's enough of the bullshit. It's enough of the chatting. We had a case update real quick. What's the case update?
So and it's not comical because it's a very serious story, but it made me laugh. And Eric, you may remember this from the chats that night, but last week, guys, if you didn't see my reel I put up this afternoon, again, hate them, don't like doing it, supposed to do it. But you'll see that I put up the least of all of these folks because I don't like doing it. But last week we talked about Debbie Collier, the 59-year-old woman in Georgia who was found clutching a small tree. I still think that that's not even anything that matters. But her abdomen was burned. If you guys remember the Georgia, the whole thing. And we are supposed to believe that she sent kind of a cryptic text to her daughter and also at the same time a Venmo payment in what we would now believe to be the last moments of her life. The Venmo payment was of $2,385. Someone in the chats, it was Sean or Murr, someone said, or Irrelevant, was it you? Someone said, as a joke, is that how much? So daughter and daughter's boyfriend have both been searched. They are kind of not been named suspects, but they seem to be the most likely candidates here. Someone joked, is that daughter's boyfriend's bail money? Is that how much that was? Well, come to find out, daughter's boyfriend owes almost exactly that same amount in probation fees. So again, no crack in the case, but it's just one more little piece of that puzzle, and it was kind of funny to see that.
There are no coincidences. There are no coincidences. I still think, I think it's a family thing, or it might have been an affair thing. Those were my two takeaways from that case. Either she's having an affair and that went wrong, or it's the kids.
There's too much, because the text. Do you remember that text that was supposed to be from her to her daughter that said, "They won't let me go. Like, they won't let me go. Love you. The key to the door is under the blue flower pot outside."
Right.
Like, if someone has kidnapped you and they won't let you go, they're not like, just send a little text and then we'll get the phone back from you. You know what I mean? Like, she never wrote that. She didn't send the Venmo payment. She didn't write that text. I'm still calling daughter and boyfriend, but we'll wait. Again, there's no reason to rush. We'll wait. Let them build a case. Let them get what they need. You know?
Yeah, I'm all in. I'm all in. It was a great case breakdown. I thought the last 2 case breakdowns were simply the best. Those were really good. So I'm excited to see what's going on tonight. What do we
Yeah,
have
this is
tonight
kind of
on the
different.
old Zackets?
This is a different, and I apologize. I will look it up later and put you in the comments. This is the first time I'm doing a case that was recommended. So a lot of you guys, and I appreciate it all the time. We do one show a week for night shift. And so I can't get around to all of them immediately, and I will start trying to do that more. But this is one that someone sent me in the chat saying, "Hey, have you looked into this?" And I said I would. And I always say I will, because I will, but this is the one I'm doing tonight. So whoever it is that sent this to me,
We also got a gift package in the mail from a guy named
Yeah.
James, and he sent you some Hooters socks, some like pajama socks, some Hooters pajama pants, a Hooters pajama shirt, and a bottle of wine.
Nice.
So
That's a nice night in, folks.
So I got to get that over to you next time I see you.
Yeah, and my shoes.
Yep, you did leave your shoes at mi casa.
Yes. Yeah. So whoever did send me this, guys, I feel like it was a woman who sent me this one. And I'll definitely shout you out, but didn't get around to it before the show tonight. This is about a case from 2006 in the Orlando area, Marion County. And it's a little boy, 2-year-old Trenton Duckett went missing. His body has never been recovered. No one has been charged with any foul play here. It is, I wouldn't say that it's cold. But not a lot is moving on with it right now. So it's been long time, 16 years now. So we're going to kind of dive into a little bit about mom and dad of this child and some of the behaviors that happened. So on August 27th of 2006, Melinda is Trenton's. Melinda, well, she didn't call 911. Her friend did. We're going to talk about that. But 911 was called. They told the dispatcher that Trenton had vanished in his bedroom while he was sleeping. She was watching a movie. We'll talk about that. And he's never been seen again. She said she put him to bed about 7:00 that night. The last confirmed sighting of Trenton was so if you're looking or listening, we got a picture of little Trenton there and his mother, Melinda. Now to note, Melinda was, and this will make sense later, but Melinda was actually born in South Korea and adopted to American parents when she was an infant. She was 4 months old when she was adopted here. So that really doesn't bear a lot of weight, except for some of the theories people have come up with since the disappearance of Trenton.
My dad always said that if he was going to adopt a child, it would be an Asian. It would be an Asian child.
I can see that.
I don't know. He says that Asian babies are cute.
They are.
I mean, to each his own.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what race of baby I would adopt if I had to adopt a baby. Do you get to pick the race, or they just pick it for you?
You can.
Because then I feel like that would be racist. They're like, be careful what race you pick.
It can be like a funny. I've had multiple friends who have adopted, and it can start to feel weird. Like, it's not bad, but I mean, you can say that you want, only an American baby, or you can say you want a white baby, black baby. You can then go outside of the United States and pay. Different things cost different amounts of money, and it's But yeah, you can. You can.
And you like go in there and like check them to see if they've been born gay or not before you take it home. Look for that gay birth mark.
Is there a button?
Is there a gay mark on this one? Is this one born gay? I want a gay baby.
Maybe.
Can you do that? How specific can you get with these babies? Maybe. I feel like the woke mob. I feel like that's something that they. I think that's something they would go after next, right? Like,
I don't.
What kind of child do you adopt?
Well, they're already trying to do that with just like eugenics, with in the lab with parents, like biologically with babies, right? Like trying to do like people can. With in vitro and things like people can actually pick a gender at this point. Like
I feel like the woke mob is just like they're like, you can't pick, like everybody's the same, you just get whatever you get.
Yeah,
I'm like, fuck man, I didn't want a baby with an Audi. I hate Audis. I don't want to raise a child that has an Audi belly button. It's disgusting.
Then you can always just be like,
Can you get an Audi pushed in?
no, it doesn't get pushed in, but it'd be fun, right? Just to be like,
No, I don't want a baby. If one of my kids had an Audi, I fucking would have aborted it.
stop it.
I'd have gotten rid of it right at birth.
That's not what that would be murder. Like you wouldn't know it had an Audi until it's Audi.
I ask all of our I ask all the midwives, hey, when they're like, you want to know the sex of this baby? I'm like, does
My
that motherfucker
midwives
have
did
an
not
Audi?
know about an Audi. No.
They got an Audi on that thing? Because if it's got an Audi, keep it in there. I don't want it. I'm anti Audi.
What about the car?
Audi? I drive American cars. All right, I'm gonna let you talk for just a second because I didn't plug my computer in,
Okay.
and I'm gonna need to plug it in real fast.
You look way taller than me right now. I gotta do something about that. All right, guys. Hey, now it's just us. Okay. All right. So on August 27th is when the 911 call is made that Trenton is missing. Like I said, we're going to talk about all of that, but the last confirmed sighting again of him being alive was August 26th. The day before at 4 p.m., he had gone to spend the night prior with his grandparents, and Melinda went to pick him up. So the last time that anyone actually knows that the child was present and alive was at 4 p.m. on the 26th. Again, around 9 or so p.m. on the 27th is the 911 call saying that he is not in his crib. Mom's whereabouts are unknown from the time that she got the child from grandparents until 8 o'clock in the morning on August 27th.
What do you mean her whereabouts are unknown?
Meaning no, like she has no alibi. There's nothing to be said about where she was from the time she picked the child up until.
I mean, could she have just said I'm at home? There's just nobody to prove that she was there, or
she could have.
She just says, "I'm not telling you where I was at between."
Well, she says nothing now because then she committed suicide. So we will also talk about that.
Jeez, spoiler alert.
Not exactly.
Oh.
So we know this guy Chris and I think Daniel, Chris Pierce, this other watching a movie with mom. Neither one of those are dad. Mom and dad are not together at this point. And Chris, her friend, is evidently called 911. And so we're going to talk over that 911 call. But then that was on August 7th is when he was reported missing. On September 8th, Melinda, the mother, committed suicide.
So between the 27th and the 8th, she just didn't give an alibi?
So she, well, not for that night of, right? So where this gets super crazy and a bit salacious is that she wound up being a guest on Nancy Grace. And so I'm sure that if you guys are listening to a true crime show, like you've probably heard of Nancy Grace from Headline News.
Why did she go on Nancy Grace?
Because all of a sudden, so many, let me read. I had to write this down because the list is insane. This is how many people and agencies got involved in the search for this child right off the rip.
She went on Nancy Grace because of the disappearance of the child.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Listen to this real quick. Listen to who got on board.
All right.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
Okay.
Interpol to determine if maybe he had been taken to South Korea. FBI, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, State Attorney's Office, the Lake County Sheriff's Office, Marion County Sheriff's Office, Orange County Sheriff's Office, Seminole County Sheriff's Office, Sumter County, Lady Lake Police Department, Leesburg Police Department, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, U.S. Forest Service, CART, which is the Child Abduction Response Team, Federal Aviation Administration, Team other agencies. So this is how many people were really quickly on the case. And again, his body's never been recovered.
Florida, the game wardens weren't on that case.
Well, the Forest Service was because they were.
Fuck the Forest Service. I'm talking about game wardens. Those are the real deal things. They could. It's Florida, right?
Yeah.
Could have been eaten by an alligator.
Absolutely. So that's actually one of the things they almost end was one of the things they had discussed was actually trapping some of these gators and putting them basically surgery. They're not going to kill them, but putting them under and opening their bellies to expose to see if kid had been found in there. A lot of things. Mm-hmm.
So they even searched that. So then the game wardens were probably involved.
So it was in the and I know that you grew up in Florida, but so it's the Ocala National Forest area.
Oh my God, it was in Ocala?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's where she spent about 8 hours while she was driving around, evidently lost.
Dude, Ocala
day
is one of
before
the
kid was missing.
So there is a special forces unit, a National Guard unit that's in Ocala, and they train out there in the Ocala National Forest. So I've done a lot of training out there. I've done a lot of land navigation out there. We call it slow Ocala. You know who else is from Ocala? John Travolta. His kid committed suicide out there, I think. But that Ocala National Forest is huge, but that place is a shit hole. I hate Ocala.
Is it like swampy though? Is it
No, I mean it's the horse capital of the United States. It's the horse. They've got horse pastures that go on for fucking days. They call it like the equestrian center of the United States. Like
so
everybody.
It can't be that like entangled, right? Like
but there is, yeah. I mean, there's some real thick draws. There's some nasty swampy.
Okay.
I mean, there's everything there. Ocala is a brutal place, and it's pretty close to it's real close to Gainesville, where the Florida Gators are from. So there's everything out there. I mean, including meth and heroin.
Yeah. Yep.
A lot of drugs out there.
Not super.
Man, that's crazy because Ocala's not very big. We call it slow Cala because it's so slow.
Okay. Well, so she's from Marion County is that I think a bit north of Orlando area, and then was not far from Ocala from the actual forest, right?
Yeah.
So what we know that those are kind of the timestamps on what happened. The child Trenton had been at grandmother's house the night prior, spent the night. That afternoon on the 26th, mom Melinda comes and picks him up. Last known sighting of him alive. We don't know anything else about her. The only thing we know for sure about her whereabouts are that evening when she had a couple of buddies over, like 2 dudes came over to watch a movie with her. And so we know that the Chris Pierce guy got there at 6:55. They watch a movie. As far as mother's account was that she put Trenton down for bed, and around that time watched the movie. A couple hours later goes to check on him, and he's not in his crib. She will say the screen around the window had like a 10-inch slit, like cut in it, and that's it. Nothing else was disturbed. There was no time that she heard crying or anything like that. So this is the account that she gives for it, right? So let's talk a little bit about the history, though. So Joshua is the name of Trenton's father. Not saying that he's necessarily, again, cream of the crop, used that last week, but when we put him in comparison with Melinda, she had a lot of things going on. Okay. So again, she came here at 4 months old from South Korea. She was adopted to American parents. She came to New York initially. Think there was some things weren't so great at home there. She wound up going to live. That's when she went to live in Florida as a young teenager with grandparents of hers. So she then meets Joshua there. They go to school together, and it was not long after high school that they had Trenton. So they were younger parents there. So you will see that Melinda exhibits a lot of behavior early on that ultimately did make her an actual suspect in this case, but not until after her death. Okay. So we have and this is where we can even talk a little bit about, we've talked about this before, touched on it, but the kind of the system, if you will, meaning like DFAC or whatever, wherever you live, what it's called, like the Department for Family and Children, the people that will come check out your home if there's a complaint and these kinds of things. It does a lot of good work, and I think there's a lot of things that fall through the cracks there. So this all happened in August of 2006. So back it up to April. So the first encounter we have is April 6th of 2005. And that's when DACF received a report that Melinda had threatened to harm Trenton if Joshua wouldn't come to her house to talk. At this time, Joshua and Melinda were not married. They were boyfriend-girlfriend. She had a lot of behaviors of threatening the child as a pawn to get what she wanted from Joshua. So Eric, she's the kind when we were talking with Ashley, the officer, and you were blown away by the fake baby website,
Yeah.
fake a baby website, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, who would do that? Like, who would get the fake belly or who would get the fake pregnancy test? I think this girl.
Yeah.
This girl would. She would to keep the, and that's why I said I was like the girl, not the normal girl, but the girl that's trying to keep the guy, right? 100%. Like, she's using her actual child who's alive and present, and threatening physical harm just so that old Joshua will come over and talk to her.
Okay.
The report stated that that she had scars on her arms from a lot of cutting incidents from herself, and that she had actually squeezed Trenton so hard that he screamed. He had bruises on his chest at this time.
Oh my
Within the
God.
next 3 months, the violence kind of grew in the home, and the next incident happened when she actually kind of dangled Trenton over some water to provoke Joshua.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, my wife threatens one of my children. I don't care what mental state, like what she's going through. She'd be the one missing. You know what I mean?
Right. So, the next thing that happened, so the last thing that happened was like June 2005.
Right.
In July, they get married. Guys, don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. We've talked about we've had more than one case where it's like, oh, and then she like, well, Catherine Knight, the very first show I was on, remember?
Yeah.
And I was like, and she like stabbed him, and then like he came back to the house. Like,
Yeah.
don't do that. And she killed him.
Yeah. On their wedding night, because he wouldn't consummate the marriage.
Well,
5
he
times.
did, but it wasn't 5 times. He only
Yeah, it was only 3.
times.
Well, he did 3 because he was too drunk.
She was not happy about that.
Dude, if he would have freaking blue chewed it up, hit that bluechew.com promo
So
code
Wolfpack.
Wolfpack, he could have probably gone all night. I don't know if that's one of the qualities of Blue Chew. I'm not going to say that it's one of the qualities. It's probably
Meaning not getting murdered is one of the qualities?
Yes.
That's fair.
Yeah, you still might get murdered. Blue Chew does not protect you from murder of Catherine Knight. But it will keep you hard, so you won't be soft. Because I think Catherine wasn't very pretty. I'll be honest with you. She wasn't real easy on the eyes.
She wasn't, but man, if they didn't say like
she was a redhead.
Kept coming back to her.
She's a redhead. She's a redhead. They wanted to see. Yeah, she was a freak for sure. That was a sex thing. That was a let's see what she can do type deal. Yeah.
Woo. As if you hadn't heard that joke.
But this girl, I mean, this isn't very far from Casey Anthony.
Exactly.
In time or place.
In time or place. Or
I wonder if Casey Anthony took that fucking baby.
Likely.
Just like a practice run at it.
What if we found out they were buddies? Casey and Melinda.
2 peas in a pod. Fuck, dude. That's stupid. Like
they got married?
Well, yeah, but using a child to, I don't know. Like, what's wrong with people? I mean, if it was my child, I guess it's just like if this was the world of Eric Tansey.
Well, that's why you want to say. That's why you want to say what's wrong with him, right? Clearly, something's wrong with her. We have no. There's not a question. Something's wrong with her. But what's wrong with him?
This is a little picture of Josh here. He looks like he's from Ocala. You know, that's what they all look like right there.
Does that play out?
He's got his blue jeans, his white t-shirt, shaved head, a little rough goatee there.
A little on the thin side.
A little on the thin side. Yeah, that's your swamp boy from Ocala for sure. And then she looks like
Casey Anthony's mother. Go back. That's who she reminded me of. She looks like Casey Anthony's mother.
She does have that little Karen cut, Casey. Mm-hmm. That's a Florida thing too. That's that Florida, I'm too fucking poor to live on the ocean haircut.
If y'all live in Florida, don't come after us right now.
I used to live there. I lived in the middle class part of Florida, and that was between the ocean and the river. So if you lived on the ocean, you're rich. If you lived east of the river, you're middle class. If you lived west of the river, you're a peasant. And Ocala is west of the river. So, but she looks like Tila Tequila.
Yeah, she does.
Tila Tequila. Melinda. Remember her from MTV?
I do. I'd forgotten about her. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah. She had a sex tape. I watched that one.
She did.
If I recall that right.
She did. So if you guys, okay. Yep.
She really looks like Tila Tequila.
She really does.
I mean, I'm not even saying that like, all Asians look the same to a white guy. No, I'm serious. Like she
That
looks
as an
like
example is an
Tila Tequila.
off-color joke. That's what
Oh,
that would be.
oh. I like how she's got the denim shirt. She's pretty though. She's really pretty.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not into Asians. I that's when I knew I was systemically racist, was because I was watching The View one time and they were talking about Asian hate, and that is the only genre of pornography I've never masturbated to. Asian porn.
I don't think that equals racism.
I'm just not attracted to Asians at all.
It's okay.
I've even looked at Whoopi Goldberg lookalike porn one time.
Oh, jeez.
If we're just being transparent, we're at the wolf pack. But just as an attraction to Asians. Now, listen, a lot of my friends are attracted to Asians, and I'm happy for them. I'm not one of those guys. I just sorry. What were you talking about?
Are we still on air? Has YouTube kicked us off yet? Do we still have a show? I think you hit all the keywords, and I think we hit boom, 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 like as many as possible.
Yeah. And
Man.
sometimes I go down these rabbit holes.
I'm also not attracted to Asians.
Really? Is that because of the stereotype thing, or is that just?
All right. No, it's because okay, I can't, because then I'll sound like a bad person. It's not even being bad. I think it's just genetically. It's things that you're attracted to or not. And I think that
well, you're pretty tall.
like the
Not a lot of tall Asians.
do you know I kind of want to do listen, let me tell you this.
Some of those basketball Asians are pretty tall.
Yeah. Let me tell you this though. I've had people ask me how tall I am before, like in the chats. Because I guess nobody. I mean, but we've had pictures up on Instagram and stuff. But that would be Ashley. Thank you.
My wife just popped in on the live chat. She says, "OMG, babe, honey, like you didn't know that I wasn't attracted to Asians. We've talked about this.
Okay.
Somebody said, stop the Asian hate. You're right. We should stop the Asian hate. And I'm going to go
There's no
beat
Asian
the
hate.
Asian hate right out of myself right after this show.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm going to beat that Asian hate right out of myself. You're going to like them, Eric. You're going to be attracted. You're going to be so attracted to these Asians.
I don't think that's the category you subscribe to.
All right. How tall are you before we jump back into this?
How tall am I?
This stereotypical Florida case. Yeah. What are you, like 6'1"?
Yes.
Okay.
So they get married in July of 2005. Trenton at this point is shuffling between the different grandparents' homes and mom and dad's home, which wouldn't sound unheard of if he were just spending the night for the weekend or whatever. But I think he's actually kind of taken time living in the different places and even spent a bit of time in some foster care. So in December of 2005, Melinda was diagnosed with OCPD. That's obsessive compulsive personality disorder. Now, that's important to note because it plays out different than obsessive compulsive disorder. We hear about somebody being OCD, or a lot of people joke, right? Like, oh, I'm kind of OCD. You're probably not, actually diagnosed with that.
Right.
OCPD, if you have the personality aspect of it, the personality disorder, we've talked about this before, but when someone is diagnosed with a personality disorder, once you tag that name in it, it changes things. That person is unaware. That person is not aware of the fact that they have this thing. So where OCD can culminate in like intrusive thoughts and anxieties, and then people use compulsions. Usually it's repetitive movements or number tapping things 7 times before they walk out of the house, washing hands multiple times. There's usually a very methodic rhythm to these things, and those compulsions ease their anxiety. That's how OCD works. What Melinda was diagnosed with, the OCPD, the personality disorder side of it, is in fact almost the opposite. You get it is very detail oriented, but you're generally unaware of the fact that anything is going on with you. You often hurt those around you. I don't mean physically necessarily, but because you are aloof to things. So it's important to note that she was diagnosed with that. Also, we've talked about versus nurture, and she was adopted. I don't think that her adoption caused any of this, but the family she came to, she obviously then left at a formative age because that wasn't working out in New York. So she went to live with other family. So like third family at this point in Florida. All of these things definitely play a part.
Nobody loves me. I'm adopted. Yeah.
Say, what did you say?
Nobody likes me. I'm adopted. Yeah.
I don't think that's what she did.
My cousin's an orphan.
That's not what.
She has no parents.
It's not the same as adopted.
Oh, well. Just wanted everybody to know that. Just wanted to share some facts.
You're such an asshole. So she was diagnosed with OCPD, but they noted that she had no psychological reason that would preclude Melinda from being a capable and loving parent. And this is after the things I've already told you that we know that she did. So for every rat you see, right? You know the saying, for every rat you see, there's 100 you don't. We do know that she's dangled the child over water to revoke his father. She has threatened to harm him and squeezed him to leave bruises just to the point to get the father to come into her house. Like, we already know some of the things that she's done. But however, evidently not enough to consider her a danger to her child. So then moving forward, we're in October now, October 2005, DCF received a report that said Melinda scratched Joshua. So remember, Joshua is now her husband. During an argument in the car, but she also threatened to kill Trenton and held a knife to his leg. So this one,
I'd like to say I'm shocked, but then I keep remembering this is Ocala, and I just think that shit happens like that in Ocala, like all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
So this one did get him taken out of the home. He's been taken. There are times he was taken out of the home. I think this one once was for only 24 hours and once was for 4 days. The judge, however, ruled that the child needed to go back to the family, but this was against DFACS's opinion. They did not think that the child should go back. This is where they got it right. And the judge said that there was no reason for the child not to go back home. So he went back home. So basically that's kind of the backstory of it all. Like, she had a lot of her own issues that then translated into being a parent, being a wife. And these are just the little bits of facts that we know. We don't know a whole lot. So we know that the two guys were there.
But nobody wanted to do anything. Like, nobody reported that she's trying to.
So he did, though. Joshua did.
Child.
The reason that DFACS knew any of this was because Joshua was reporting it, even though he married her.
I mean, at what point does somebody step in and say yo, bitch, stop fucking threatening to kill your kid, or we're gonna take your fucking kid away forever?
Well, so they did, right? They took the kid, but then the judge ruled that the kid could go back home.
I get it, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, this
why
is
didn't
chaos.
Joshua? What about Joshua? Right, as the dad, why didn't he take the child?
You take that. Maybe he did. Maybe that's the disappearance of the baby. Maybe Josh was like, dude,
Joshua's not disappeared.
No, but he might have. He said, look, I can't be a single dad. You see this goatee in Ocala? I got all my teeth. I can't lock it down, dude. I can't be a single dad. But if we leave this girl with the wife, she's gonna murder this kid. We gotta get rid of her. We gotta make this baby disappear.
Yeah, I don't think
give her off to somebody, somebody not from Ocala. Like maybe head east to Jacksonville. A little bit better. A little south down to Orlando. Dildo. Drop her off down there with some good folk.
Dilly.
Sarah Kelch in the chats. Sarah Kelch in the casting couch. Sarah Kelch in the chats says that she was actually adopted. I don't know if I believe her. I don't know if she's being funny. But if you're an orphan, Sarah, I'll adopt you. My wife and I will take you in, and you can become our adopted slave. We will adopt you and then make you do laundry and chores. You will not have a last name. Your name will just be simply Sarah K. You'll actually be a number. We'll give you a number. It'll be 68. Your number will be 68. And yeah, that's what your life will be. Did we lose Andrea or did y'all lose me? Oh, I think we've. No. Are we back? Am I back in? Am I back in? Sorry about that, guys. We lost the internet. If you can hear me, let me know you're still here, and we'll try to get Andrea back in a second. Man, what did you do, Sarah? What did you do? Did you block my internet? The FBI just raided my shop. There she is. She's back. Are we back?
Yeah, it showed me that we were both gone. Were you gone at all?
Yeah, I think it was because we talked about adopting Sarah. How far did I get into that rant?
I just heard you say to adopt her as a slave, and
Yeah.
I think that's when we got turned off completely.
Yeah, so we're going to adopt Sarah. She's going to become a slave in my house. We'll take away her last name. We'll make her a number, actually. The number will be 68. And then Sarah will just do, or I mean 68, will just do whatever we need her to do for the day. Walk the dog.
It's fair.
Change diapers. Yep. Number 68. Come rub my feet.
Oh. Sarah, so Sarah, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to just be a little honest here. And it's all in love. It's all in love because I tried. I wanted you to come. We tried to get Sarah to come to the meet and greet, and she wanted to. I'll let Sarah share why. She couldn't come in the chats, and if she shares, then we'll talk about it.
She didn't want to be kidnapped.
No. We needed. I'm not sure if she's going to be allowed to.
Oh, she wasn't allowed to?
We'll see. We'll see, Sarah. I'm gonna let Sarah tell it.
I figured Sarah's probably got to be about fucking 14. I want to find out her age. I want to feel real bad about all the jokes.
She's of age.
About
You're
all
good.
the jokes
She's of legal limit.
Thank God. I see Chris Hansen now.
Oh,
I'll be like, man, I thought she was 24, and he's like, she's like 3'2" and like 65 pounds.
she says because she lives in Missouri. That's not the reason, Sarah, but we'll go with that. We'll go with it. I'm here for that. Anyway, so now we know a little bit about Melinda's backstory, a little bit about her psychological state. She was not stable, clearly, before the child, during raising the child, and then up into her marriage and after. So the day that she picked Trenton up from grandparents' house on the 26th of August, she took a shotgun with her. Her story goes that she was going to target practice. I can't even say it like with a straight face. To target practice with her shotgun.
Do you target practice with a shotgun?
I don't think anyone I know ever has.
The old scatter gun?
I
mean, I guess you could target practice if you're firing like slugs out of it. Like,
I mean, the only thing I've ever done with shotguns in terms of like outside of like a hunting scenario would be like for fun shooting a can off a fence or something, right? Like you're
Mhm.
not, you don't, the whole point of the shotgun is that you don't even have to, you point it where it's going. That's it.
I'm
There's no,
never going shooting with you ever. Seals
with a
that deal.
shotgun, it's not, that's what you, like, it's not even, you don't target practice a shotgun, much less in the Ocala National Forest. What?
No, you're right. It's funny.
Can you imagine taking like a double barrel and being like, hang it up, son? I'm going at 20 feet away. Like, ding, like what? That's not. But her story was that she took Trenton. So
Mhm.
so on top of the fact that I'm not target shooting with a shotgun, I'm also not taking my 2-year-old to the range.
Mm.
2.
Hope you brought some earplugs.
And also isn't like a normal 2-year-old that would like run around like I'm all about children being involved in learning things in a healthy respect, right, of firearms, but like 2, he's not learning anything. What, you're not taking your 2-year-old. Like if she wasn't
Yeah,
like
no,
on some
like no
competitive shooting
single.
team. Like what is she doing?
Is she single at this point?
They're married now.
They are married. Are they separated though? I mean, I know they were married,
No,
but I feel like.
I don't believe.
So why didn't
Well,
he? Why does
no,
she
you're
just
right.
go shooting by herself? Like my
Not
wife
even that.
doesn't
Why did she have 2 dudes over for a movie?
Yeah, that's what I want to know. That's pretty weird. That's pretty weird.
I think they actually did get, because now we're a year later. I think they did get a separation.
But still having like 2 dudes come over to watch a movie. Pretty weird.
2 dudes, 1 movie. Yeah.
I think I've seen that. I think I've seen that flick. No, because there was an Asian in it, so I did not see it. Because she's Asian, get it?
So she takes the kid.
Who
and the
drove her to the
shotgun.
range?
She went. So she
drove herself?
Yes.
Man, I don't know what's more dangerous, a
So I'm telling
woman
you,
with a shotgun or a female Asian driver.
So her story is that she drove to the Ocala National Forest.
This kid was
We have
destined to fail.
cell phone pings within a 5-mile radius of all the things. We have them that line up of her going north. She goes back south, past her house and then back up. She kind of has some erratic movements throughout that day, and that's all we really do know based on her cell phone pings. Now, when she was in the forest, her story is that she went there with the child to go target shooting with a shotgun
by herself. Could you imagine?
Oh, it's
just be like, come on, boys, load up in the car. Mama's gonna go shooting today. She's gonna go playing a little steel.
I have a picture of me being pregnant with my youngest at the range. But he wasn't outside, so he wasn't outside of my body, so he wasn't running around. It was safe. But so she gets there, and her story is that she got lost and she could not find the range. Keep in mind, though, she was also OCPD, right? So her attention to detail is pretty on point. So for her to just kind of like wazoo, just very on a whim, go out somewhere she doesn't know she's going, doesn't know how to get there. She's gone for about 8 hours that day. Really kind of unaccounted for. We know that at one point she said she pulled over to a mall to change Trenton's diaper. But outside of that, we have her cell phone pings, but we have nothing else to go off of. So she did, in fact, go to the forest. We know that. We don't know if her intent, in fact, was to go target shooting with this shotgun. She comes back. The day goes on, and as you know, according to her, that evening wears in. Her friends come over. They start to watch a movie. She puts Trenton to bed, and then that's it in terms of anyone hearing of Trenton ever again. They go check the room. He's not there. Empty crib, slit in the screen. So I'm going to read to you the 911 call. Let's see here, guys. I've got it right here.
While you look that up, I mean, we know that I would, it would be hard for me to sleep with an Asian, just because of my attraction issues. But if I was going to bed one, I would bet her on a ghost bed. I would bet her on a ghost bed. And right now, Ghost Bed has been a loyal sponsor of us. They've been a loyal sponsor since day one. Probably not now. Probably not now after all my jokes, but they are a must buy. It's a must purchase item. Everybody's got one. Mike's got one. OPP's got one. I mean, UPP's got one. And they were with us from the Drinking Bros. So I've been with Ghost Bed now myself personally for over 2 years. But right now they're offering 35% off. Just use that promo code Wolfpack. You can go to ghostbed.com/Wolfpack as well. There is a landing site for us, but right now the Ghostbed is offering a flash sale. Actually, there's a flash sale right now, 40% off of Ghostbed bundles, where you get a mattress and adjustable base if you use the code Wolfpack, or 30% off of everything if you use the code Wolfpack at ghostbed.com/Wolfpack. You can buy a mattress for like $35 a month, 0 down, 0% financing. And that's if you have Sarah Kelch credit, adopted credit, orphan credit. If you got an orphan's credits. One of my favorite things about Ghost Bed, though, is that they're made in the good old USA. Ghost Bed also offers bundles so that you can get everything you need. You don't even have to really think about it. Just choose from their 4 mattresses and pick your bundle. So whether you just need a mattress and a brace or you want it all, I want it all. I want it all. And I want it now. Like their cooling pillows and their sheets, you can get the best bang for your buck. Go over to Wolfpack. Go over to ghostbed.com/Wolfpack right now and get you a bed that sleeps so good it's scary. Sleep so good that you could sleep with any race. You could bed any race, whether you're attracted to them or not. Just get in bed with them. Ghostbed.com/Wolfpack.
I'm really thankful, and I'm really appreciative of our very last Ghost Bed ad read tonight. It was good, and I
kept it equality. I kept it equal. I said you could bed whatever race you want to bed in that thing. It's sleep so good that you can bed any race, whether you're attracted to it or not. Is it racist if you're not attracted to a certain race?
I don't think so.
Like I could definitely sleep with an African American. I could sleep with
like white chicks that you would want to sleep with, right? You know what I'm saying? Like they're
Jewish person.
You hear me?
What?
I said there were white girls you wouldn't want to sleep with, right? You know what I mean? Like it's just attraction is attraction.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right.
You know?
I don't know. I got a lot of things I got to work through, you know? A lot of what is it called? OCD PD.
What Melinda had?
Yeah, that's probably what I have.
OCPD, you don't. You have ADD.
Oh.
Yeah, you know. Okay. I don't think that's how the song goes, actually. So we know she goes to the forest, or that's her story. I think she did actually go to the forest. I don't think it was for target practice with a shotgun and a 2-year-old. She does that, comes back. All that happens with the guys, the movie, and the 911 call. So the 911 call goes as such. Chris is the one that calls, her buddy, okay. Right? So the operator says, she said, how old is he? And he said, he's 3 years old. No, he's like around 2 or 3. Dispatch says, where's the last place he was seen? Oh, he was in the room. And I came over and I was watching a movie. He was in bed. I guess he was sleeping. And then she went to go check on him and he's not there. What's his mother's name? Melinda Duckett. And then he spells the name for her. And she says he's about 3. Yes, he's really tall, but he's like, I guess he's 2. How old he is. Dispatch, what was he last seen wearing? And he says, I don't know. I didn't, whenever I came in, I didn't see him. And he said, now she's wanting to talk to mom. Where's she at? I'm trying to find her. She's out, I guess, trying to find him, walking around the apartment complex. And she said, you don't know what he was wearing or anything. And he said, I don't know. And she said, you don't know what you dressed him in before you went to bed. Now mom has come in. And when mom came in, she was out of breath. And she says she doesn't know what they've switched over, and she says she doesn't know what he was sleeping in. So that's when the dispatch says, wait, you don't know what you dressed him in before he went to bed? And mom says he might have had his shoes off and his shirt off. No shoes. I know who freaking did it. 911. No shoes, no shirt. He's an Asian male.
service.
Is this right? Yeah. And she says, he's wearing jean shorts. He's 2 years old. Dispatch, he's wearing jean shorts. Yes. And he's 2 years old. How long has he been gone? I don't know. You don't know? Well, I was watching a movie that was 2 hours long. I checked on him before anyone came down to the house. Are you at the house right now? Has he ever done this before? Has who ever done what before? Has he ever walked out of the house before? No, he was in his room. He was in his room. And how many, is there a back way out of the house or anything? And then there's some inaudible stuff. And then they say that they're on their way. So that's when she's, mom's questionable. And we've talked about this before with these 911 calls. We can't say what we would do in the moment. If she's actually freaking out because her kid's gone, she might be like, I don't know what he was wearing. I'm not sure. Maybe he fell asleep in the car and she transferred him to the crib and he's still
Dude,
wearing his clothes.
I know. I'll tell you what my kids are wearing to bed right the fuck now.
Your youngest
not
is
even
wearing a jean shorts and a button-down shirt to sleep in is what he's wearing. Not your youngest, but your youngest son.
No, he's
Hundo.
no.
When I wake up in the morning,
my youngest son is just wearing
naked.
underwear.
Well, I was gonna say he's naked or he's wearing jean shorts and a button-down shirt.
It's all he owns.
It's the cutest thing ever.
He owns like 4 pair of jorts that we cut into jorts. It's like we took all of his pants because they were too long, cut them into jorts. So he's got a lot of jorts. But I mean, my oldest, my middle child is my middle son is wearing probably a Minions onesie. My oldest child is wearing boxers, like straight up like 1990s boxers. And my youngest son is wearing nothing but underwear, Mickey Mouse underwear that are so faded that you could barely tell that they're Mickey Mouse. And I bet you my daughter's wearing some kind of off colored pink onesie.
Yes.
Nailed it, dude. So the fact that, I think it's crazy, man. I think I don't know what my child's wearing. Fuck out of here. You put it to bed, you dumb bitch. I mean, if the kid's 2 years old, you didn't fucking put it to bed. You didn't just say like, hey, Marcus, what's the kid's name?
Trenton,
go to bed, put yourself in there, tuck yourself in. No, you got to go in there. You got to say the prayers, do all the things. Mom's about to take 2 dicks, so I need you to go to bed. You know what I mean? Like, she put that motherfucker to bed. She knows what he's wearing. Right?
Yep.
You'd think.
Mm-hmm.
Time to go to sleep. Mom's got to go take 2 dicks. Gonna do a little Hulu and Homicide tonight.
Oh, you're leaning in on this one.
Little Hulu and Homicide. You don't think she was taking 2 dicks?
Okay.
Really? You don't think she was?
I don't know.
Okay. I mean, maybe not. Like 2 dudes.
I haven't seen these dudes.
It's Ocala. She's taking 2 swamp dicks.
Oh, God bless America. So anyway, that's what happens. We do, like I said, we have the cell phone pings. She's in the forest, whatever. The kid's never seen again. So where this goes super sideways, I mentioned this earlier, but mom, then I rattled off an entire list of multiple agencies and departments that are on this case. A lot. This is not something that was ignored or fell through the cracks. A lot of people were on this immediately, and so when that happens, you start getting attention of news media, and then it becomes local news and then national news. It gets bigger and bigger. So headline news took an ear to this. True. So the headline news, the National News Agency took an ear to this, and Nancy Grace got on this case. Now, like her lover, she is what she is. She's like nails on a chalkboard to a lot of people. Other people love her, whatever. I think she can do a good job if she's holding someone's feet to the fire, but also she can be just a lot.
She's like Joel Osteen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she's got like a cult following, but then like the rest of America fucking hates her.
Yeah, I would agree with
I
that
got kicked out of I was in Dallas and I was getting ready to do a live show. So with Drinking Bros, when we did a live show out in Dallas at a brewery. And I just got off the plane. I'd gotten the Uber. I was with Boston Joe. And the guy was wearing, he looked like a what is it, a Mennonite? I don't know, like, the one, or maybe it's Jewish. I don't know.
Like an
but, he had like What are the ones that come and knock at your door all the time? Church of Latter-day
Jehovah's
Saints?
Witness? Oh, yeah,
Jehovah's
yeah.
Witness, that's it. Jehovah's
Well, you're
Witness.
probably thinking of Mormon though, because Jehovah's Witness isn't dressed a certain way. Like in Mormonism, like it's usually like boys
Yeah,
on
there you
bikes
go.
with a backpack and
Yeah, because he had the
button-down
white
shirts.
shirt with the
Yeah,
tie.
that's probably
He had the
Mormon,
white shirt
yeah.
too. And I said, I just got in the cab and there was a compound that we drove by. And I said, yo, is that fucking Joel Osteen's compound over there? Like, what is that place? And then I said, hey, man, is Joel Osteen like Casey Anthony is to Florida? Is Joel Osteen to Texas like Casey Anthony is to
I
Florida?
would agree with that.
And he pulled the car over at like a random place and was like, yep, I'm done. Out.
So he's
That's
an
it.
Olstein follower.
He just said, get out. So we, Bus and Joe and I were at the wrong place, and we had to find another. I think we had to use a different number to get a different Uber because we got blocked
You got
because we were
Uber for that?
offensive or something. We offended the guy.
To Joel Olstein. Gosh.
Yeah.
Well, they
Can't
have
make Joel
tighter rules
Osteen
than
jokes
you
in
do,
Dallas,
evidently.
man. Can't make Nancy Grace jokes when you're in true crime world.
Jeez Louise. So she goes on Nancy Grace, right? And Nancy does what Nancy does. She kind of hounds her. But I will say Melinda is not very forthcoming. So Nancy's asking her things like, about her whereabouts in
But
those
there were
hours
two
leading
coming.
up. And say, what did you say?
I said, but she had two coming.
Oh my God. I don't know why I asked you that. I know better. So she gets on Nancy Grace. Nancy hounds her, and she's saying, "Where were you?" All these things, and Melinda is saying, like, essentially, she's saying she's not going to answer it. And the more she does that, the more Nancy Grace leans in, and she's saying, like, why you are the mother. Yeah, and I'm sure if you've heard her, you can hear the tone, right? Like, you are the mother of this child. This child is missing. Why wouldn't you tell us where you are, where you were, and what you've been doing? So that interview happens. And then on September 8th, I think it was a couple days later, Melinda commits suicide. She uses that shotgun that we know that she had.
That's why she was target practicing.
Yeah, I think target practice was something entirely different than that. And she committed suicide in the closet of her grandparents' home. Why not her own apartment? I'm sorry, but that's my first thought.
Right.
So her grandfather found her. But she left multiple notes. So that's what I'm going to read. Drew Breezy earlier said, and end scene. And here we go again.
So they were talking about Nancy Drew jokes, and I said a Nancy Jew joke. And then Drew in the chat says that my autocorrect must be racist. Whoopi Goldberg said that Jews aren't a race. So that was just an off-colored.
She did say that.
It's just an off-colored Jew joke at that point.
Can't be a
racist joke. At that point.
Race, then would Mel Gibson have gotten in trouble? Ultimately,
yeah,
I don't know. So listen, here's one of her notes. She left 3 different ones. Nanny and Poppy.
Hey, Poppy.
Thank you for your love.
Hey, how does an Asian say Poppy? Probably not like, hey, Poppy.
Okay. Thank you for your love and support through all the hard years. If you guys, I'm going to show you a little bit her handwriting. I mean, she is young. She was 21, I think, when
oh, that's nice handwriing.
Yeah, it's also young.
All my girlfriends used to write letters like that.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of juvenile handwriting. Thank you.
That doesn't just stick with you. That doesn't just stick with you. If you write like that all through high school and shit, I
don't write like I did when I was in 5th grade. You know what I mean? Like I think that things change.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Okay. Like she said, thank you for your love and support through all the hard years. I may not have shown it as much as I should have, but I am grateful. You two deserve so much better than what I was. I want you guys to pay attention to how many times you hear I, me. Okay.
Sounds like a letter I would write.
As a granddaughter, I know the obstacles were hard and I'm sorry. I love you. The main reason I'm doing this is because even after my baby is found, I would not be a good mother. With 2 jobs and full-time school, I tried my hardest, but always slacked in some area. Trenton should have had my full attention at all times. I'm sorry. My heart has always been in the right place. Honest to God, my reasoning is what is off at times. My reasoning is what is off at times. Please take care of each other. Have me cremated and pray to me whenever you can. I love you. There's so much more. I would say to you, but please understand that I have to do this. It's a release from stress and frustration, and I'll be happier in the end.
I'm glad you'll be
Besides,
happier, bitch.
besides, soon enough,
Selfish fuck.
we will all be together again. I love you. And then she wrote important and underlined it. P.S.
Whoa.
And she writes this like diagonal on the second piece of paper. It's like diagonally, like
Yeah.
it's very childlike in the way it's written.
Well, I mean, that's
P.S.
what I've always had a thing with. Like Asians do a lot of childlike stuff, right? Like
She was
like that.
but she was raised in America.
Oh, gotcha.
Remember? Like she came over
Like
here.
they do like the.
Okay. She said, P.S. I know it'll be hard, but in my car, lift out the ashtray. It is for you. I love you. And there's some money in there. So that was the one time grandmother and grandfather. So if you paid attention, there was a lot of me. I know it's hard. I wouldn't be a good mom to him even after he's found because I have to work 2 jobs and go to school. Like, welcome to the club, sis. I mean, you do what you got to do. So that was her letter to her grandparents. Dear mom and dad, I love you guys so much. There's a lot of there's a decent amount of like left-leaning slants. Go look up
Like liberal. She's a real liberal.
In so many ways, that would be great. But I'm looking at the handwriting, and
she wrote really her handwriting was very woke.
It's but it points to like a back, like a left slash can point
like
to a lot
italicized,
of
like italics.
But
is it italics?
I don't say italics. People do. This slash to the left is a little off. You guys look that up. It's really interesting. Anyway, dear mom and dad, I love you guys so much. I'm very sorry to put you both through this. I couldn't have asked for better parents, and I know this isn't fair. Just know that there was nothing you guys could have done to stop me.
Ask for real parents.
None of this is anyone's fault but my own, so please don't blame yourself or anyone else. I transferred my car to Tiffany. All she has to do is write the odometer readings and sign it. I parked it on the east side of Stockton Drive, a couple blocks north. If she wants to sell it, great. If she wants to keep it, great. Please don't pressure her one way or another. You guys are welcome to donate my body to science, just like Grandpa. Or cremate it, whatever is cheapest.
Well, we can't look at your brain because it's all over the fucking ceiling, honey.
It's true.
Too stupid to even figure that out.
No big funeral or anything along that line. Please
don't worry,
Tracy,
bitch. We won't because you murdered your daughter. You're not getting a funeral.
And everyone, bye to them. I'm off to see Skippy, Grandpa, and everyone else. I love them now. At peace, love. So a lot of interesting letters. So then she's got one to the public.
Okay. Because everybody in the public gives a fuck what she has. Well, I guess she's got all those Nancy Grace fans.
I'm sorry this is short. Usually I plan things out and am better with my writing. Your focus came off of my son. I love him and only wanted him safe in my arms. You created rumors and twisted words. Usually I'm strong, and what others say does not affect me. However, I am young. I have worked my ass off, and I'm still being faced with ridicule and criticism. I only wish you do not push anyone else. I do not bleed my emotions to the public, and throughout this situation, you did not understand that. There were many more errors you made in understanding me, but time is short, and I have more important people to speak to. So that was her letter to the public concerning the Nancy Grace interview.
Let me shed a tear for her real quick.
But if you guys did pay attention, there was just so much I mean, and I think that at the beginning there was the attention on the fact that the child was missing and she was being focused on, even if it was lost on her that it was not necessarily positively, she was being focused on. She felt the victim in the moment. She felt that the country was asking her, she's the grieving mother. And the second that tide turned, it was no longer about her. And this is around the time that she did this. Now we know that I'm not for a bully. I'm not saying Nancy was a bully. I think she kind of hit her hard, and I don't think the chick liked it. I don't think one thing has to do with another. It wasn't Nancy Grace's interview that caused the suicide. We clearly know this woman was mentally unstable early on. So they impounded her car. They took her car. They've searched everything. She had a Mitsubishi Eclipse, I believe. There was a 50-cent CD.
Stereotype.
50-cent CD was in the
50
front
cent.
passenger seat, and a bag of Jelly Belly jelly beans. They, in the process of searching the area around the apartment, they did find in the dumpster like a lot of toys and clothes of Trenton's and his sonogram pictures. And that's the part that got me, because when I started looking into what toys and clothes, they were clothes that wouldn't fit him anymore. Like onesies and things like that at 2 he wouldn't have been wearing. More infant like baby toys, like things that probably, okay, you can make an argument that it was fair that it was thrown out, probably stuff he's outgrown. But his sonogram pictures were also in that dumpster. So any of his belongings at that point had been thrown away. My argument would be that 2 weeks after your child goes missing is not when you kill yourself. 2 weeks later, you're still doing what you can to find them. You're holding out hope that you will find them if that's in fact what happened. We have ruled out at this point that he was abducted. Authorities pretty early on said this was not a kidnapping. Nothing pointed to nothing else was disturbed in the home. There was like a cut in the screen. Who's to say who that came from? Nothing else was disturbed. No cries out from the child, and nothing led to them thinking this was an abduction. Also,
But she's got these 2 guys that they must have seen the kid.
what
Like if
makes
the
you
kid
think they
was,
must have seen him.
or they could say they never. I mean, you think they got there after the kid was already asleep?
That's her story, is that she had put him to bed and then her friends got there.
I
So
gotcha.
it wouldn't be weird to them that they didn't see him, because in their head they're like, oh, the kid's in the bed.
Well, I mean, and then she was in Ocala National Forest for 8 hours that day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she fucking killed that kid.
So they've also ruled out that she gave him to anyone, because some people got down that rabbit hole. They heard her say one time that she would like him to visit. The thing is, she's not been back to Korea. So like she born there, yes, and adopted from there at 4 months old. She's not been back. She doesn't really have ties there otherwise. But someone along the grapevine heard her mention that she would like him to know his native land. And so then it got kind of this snowballed into a theory that she had probably given him away to someone, to maybe go back there. What that's been ruled out. So
Yeah, I think that. I don't think she's.
Yeah, no, that's far fetched. So
I think
was
she
actually
fucking
named
drove out to Ocala National Forest and
with that
because
shotgun.
it's really 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 sandy
Yeah.
out there. Like the ground is very loamy, I guess you could say.
It is loamy. That's the word.
So you can dig a hole very easily in the Ocala National Forest. It's not very difficult in a lot of parts. So she could have driven around. There's also some big limestone quarries out there as well, that have some like really deep crevasses that have water in them. I don't, and that water doesn't go anywhere, so it's not like it's gonna like wash up on shore or anything. I mean, the Ocala National Forest is massive. It's a lot of dirt roads. It just, I used to call it like one big. Well, it's one big ginormous hunting club. I mean, you could drive for miles out there on these little sandy dirt roads. So
Yeah.
she probably pulled him off out there somewhere, and
Yeah. I mean, I think the one thing she was being truthful about is that that's where she went. I don't think her reason or motivation behind going there is why. But so she was actually officially named a suspect after her suicide. They still have the car in, as far as I know, they still have the car. They have all the evidence that they maintained at the time. I think at this point it's safe to say that it's, a very likely story that animals got, like you said earlier, like where that forest is, where it's located. I think it's, especially a 2-year-old, like it's not a big body that could easily be taken and run off with, eventually after decay, bones being spread and moved around. Like it doesn't surprise me that the body's not been found at this point. If
Yeah,
it
I mean,
didn't get found
it's-
if it didn't get found initially, I'm not surprised that now it hasn't. And
Yeah, I mean, if
doubt that it
she
would.
drove around that national forest for 8 hours,
well,
like,
that's what she does. Yeah.
well, I mean, let's say she drove around there for 2.5 hours, and you can get pretty far out in that fucking woods in 2.5 hours, and you can go for a nice
Oh
long
yeah.
walk. I mean, and it's a small kid. It's not a very deep hole that you got to dig there. And like I said, I mean, those like limestone quarries are super, super deep out there. It's 20, 30 feet, you know. He might be laying at the bottom of one of those. And, you know, that's kind of how I feel about the Dylan Rounds case. You know,
So we got
there's so many
things to talk
crevasses,
about there too. Yeah.
you know, but that's what a crazy story. I mean, another little Casey Anthony bitch. I'm not putting her picture on my wall though, because I'm attracted to Casey Anthony.
Mm.
I'm not attracted to tequila.
So got a couple updates though.
All right.
The one I talked about Debbie Collier, but then we have, so speaking of Dylan, it's not really a big update. I think it's something we all probably would have assumed, but authorities now say that they have enough evidence that they are absolutely investigating this as a homicide. I don't think, I know, I don't think any of us are surprised. They've just not come forward to specifically say that yet. And they are now, the family has enlisted the help of a different search group, if you will, that uses a certain kind of technology that if you think of like thermals and things like that, it's like that, but it's with disruptions in the ground. So
it's like an
even if,
MRI. It's like giving the
yes.
Earth an MRI.
Yes, of the
essentially.
ground. So like if things have
Saw
been
that.
buried, even if it's still a yeah, did you see that? Even if it's still
I
like a
did, yeah.
skeleton or a cadaver that has decomposed, it should show disruptions in the soil and in the break of the ground, if you will. So they're kind of on that right now, but authorities do say that they have the evidence they need, which we've not. That's fine. We've not been told about it. We don't know what the evidence is, but they have what they need to investigate this as a homicide at this point. Real quick again on the Delphi, on the Delphi case, guys, Abby and Libby that were on the bridge, if you remember.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
Indiana, the down the bridge one, that's to this day, that one just that one's tough. That was in 2017. That was tough to.
Yeah, that one's
Ooh.
that case really pissed
That
me
still
off
kills me.
because
Yeah,
it's
that
like you
one's
still
hard.
have this Snapchat. There's so much fucking evidence.
So much, and it's so hard. And we also know, and again, I will say, I'm sure it's for good measure. It's good that we don't know these things, but there are so many things that that we don't know, you know, that they're sitting on. And so to the point, like I've said, they've never even mentioned. I have my assumptions. They've never said how they died. Even we don't even have a cause of death. They know. Authorities know. We just don't know. So we learned that Keegan Kline was the one who was the catfisher, the big boy who was posing as like a TikTok cop from Alaska. He said his name was Anthony Schatz. It's not. Keegan Kline, he lived with his father. He was implicated on multiple charges of child pornography. And so I did an update reel a couple weeks ago about that they are now, they had then, maybe 3 weeks ago, been searching the river in front of his home.
Yeah.
He's already in jail because he was indicted on these child porn charges separately. But now we've learned that not only did they have a dive team in, they had a helicopter in. Like the state investigator was in that helicopter. We can't say it was for the case. There were other cases around there, so that's a little speculation. We do know that Keegan was taken out of jail for a temporary time into ISP, Indiana State Police custody, during the time that the dive team and helicopter were active in this search.
Nice.
So, you know, I don't feel like it takes a lot of reach to.
Hopefully that disgusting slob will get cut in prison. And
well, I hope that he's charged first. I hope that we have proof and he's charged first, and then I don't care what happens to him.
yeah, because that does suck. Like if he does die, and then we don't ever get to solve the case.
Yeah, I want it solved, and then I don't really give a shit what happens to him.
Yeah, just let him go to Florida. Nothing good happens there, obviously. Man, that was a good case. It was not as crazy as cutting a baby out of a stomach, or
still not the craziest one we've done.
Getting burned with a getting your stomach torched like we'd had last week. So
No.
I'm always good. It's but the child ones, man, it's like, I look at my kids. I love them so much. And I just can't imagine ever hurting them in any way, shape, or form. Matter of fact, I wake up every day and try to figure out, like, what can I do to not hurt these kids mentally, physically, emotionally, or whatever. So to think that there's a woman out there that could just take her kids out to Ocala National Forest and execute them. Yeah, it's crazy to me, man. It's just fucking crazy.
It's wild.
Well, she's in hell right now. She's like, I'm with Dee Dee and Papa. No, bitch, you're fucking burning in hell because suicides don't go to heaven. I saw the movie Kingdom of Heaven, and they said that suicides don't go to heaven. So I'm just going to go on that. She's in hell. Oh, no, it's not suicides don't go to heaven. It's people without their heads. People without their heads. People who lose their heads don't go to heaven.
I don't even think it's the suicide. I think it's the child murder.
Oh, you think that's what got her into hell? No, Jesus forgives everything but suicide. So,
oh my God,
I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding. Well, that was a fantastic episode. Thank you guys so much.
Last show. We thank
Number
y'all.
68. Yeah, it was a great last show.
We will definitely not be back next Tuesday after this.
After the woke people fire me for the woke police fire me for not having ever masturbated to an Asian porn, which I'll publicly apologize and I'll publicly jerk off to an Asian porn just to show everybody that I've learned my lesson and that I have come full circle.
God bless.
So the corn pop was a bad dude in the chats. Ethan Dunn 4 says hashtag free the shoulders. Tactic Cool Dudes is back with us as usual. Drew Breezy, number 68, my favorites. Adopted Slave, JC Allen, Micah McFowle. Isn't it crazy that we can't even say the word slave anymore? Like, remember when Britney Spears had that song, like, I'm a slave. I'm a slave. They'd be like, oh, how cultural, inappropriate.
I'm okay with her not saying anything anymore.
I love Britney Spears.
I know you do.
I think that
you're waiting for it. I know you're waiting for it.
Well, she already slipped. She's already slipped a couple of those nips. So they're already out there on the interwebs.
I've seen the beach pictures.
To see them. Everybody's able to see them now.
Takes
away some of the mystique, but no, she's showing
showing it all.
Some hoo-hawy out there. JC Allen, Seth Dunlap. Thank you guys. Hydra Man Blue, Bosco. We appreciate all of you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe our channel. Hammer the like button. And until next time, guys, guns up.
Good night, y'all.